You'd think he is a saint, but Roy Keane was an alcoholic brute who fought, made controversies and purposely injured his opponents left, right and centre. Despite being an all-time legend, this player has a side too dark to go unnoticed. From his career highs to personal lows, this is Roy Keane for y'all. Born on August 10, 1971, Roy belonged to a working-class neighbourhood in Cork, Ireland. His dad, Maurice, was always picking up whatever work he could find, from working at a knitwear factory to the local brewery. Growing up, football was a big deal in Roy's family, and many of his relatives had played for local teams like Rockmount. So, Roy simply followed their lead. Roy himself was quite the athlete as a kid. He started boxing when he was just 9, and even won all 4 matches he fought in the novice league. But it was on the football field where he truly stood out. He played for Rockmount, and right from his first season, people saw something special in him. Little by little, things were getting serious, but when some of his teammates got to go abroad for trials with English football teams, Roy didn't get that chance at all. What he did instead was wait. In the meantime, he grew up cheering for Celtic and Tottenham Hotspur, idolising players like Liam Brady and Glenn Hoddle. He also looked up to Brian Robson from Manchester United and many more. But isn't it interesting how these early heroes shape who we become? Liam Brady, with his smooth moves and perfect passes, and Glenn Hoddle, whose plays were like magic tricks, both had a style that made you dream. Then there was Brian Robson, the fearless leader, showing what true grit looked like on the field. Those days, every match was a lesson in greatness, wasn't it? I miss those days a lot, man. Anyways, for Roy Keane, the waiting was finally over. Roy joined the Irish club Cove Ramblers as a teenager, and that's where he really started to shine. He played so well there that a scout from Nottingham Forest spotted him, and in 1990 he was signed by the English club for $47,000. He started out at Nottingham Forest, playing for the famous Brian Clough. Clough's advice was pretty simple. Get the ball, pass it to someone in a red shirt. It totally clicked with Roy, and he quickly became known for his straightforward, no-nonsense style. Things weren't all sunshine and rainbows, though. Despite Roy's skill, Forest struggled and eventually got kicked out of the Premier League. But hey, every cloud has a silver lining, right? Roy's talent was too bright to ignore, and bigger clubs noticed him. In 1993, after a little drama with Blackburn Rovers, he joined Manchester United for a record-breaking fee at the time. That's where his career really took off. Under Sir Alex Ferguson, Roy became a key player known for his tough and passionate style. By 1997, he was captain, and he wore that armband like it was made for him. Now, Roy was a born leader, but he was also demanding. He had high standards and wasn't afraid to push his teammates, and guess what? It worked. The team won a bunch of Premier League titles and even scored the famous treble in 1999, the Premier League, FA Cup and UEFA Champions League. It was at this point, though, that the very first controversy of Roy came into light. You know the infamous incident with Roy Keane and Alfie Hayland in 2001? It was during a heated Manchester derby, and Keane got a red card for a really nasty tackle on Haaland's knee. A lot of people thought it was payback for something that happened years earlier. Initially, Keane just got a few games banned and a small fine. But then his autobiography came out and boom, he flat out admitted he wanted to hurt Haaland. He even wrote some pretty harsh words in the book, saying he waited for the moment and went in hard. That confession caused a huge uproar. The Football Association came down on him hard, adding more games to his ban and a hefty fine. But you know, Keane, he didn't back down. He basically said Haaland got what he deserved. The sad thing is that Haaland's career pretty much ended after that. Now, if you like the video so far, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more such videos. It really motivates us to keep going. After that Haaland incident, Manchester United had a bit of an up-and-down season, finishing 3rd in the Premier League and making it to the Champions League semi-finals. Keane wasn't too happy with some teammates, saying they lost their drive and were more interested in money than winning. Then, in August 2002, Keane got into more trouble for elbowing Jason McAteer from Sunderland, adding fuel to the fire after his Haaland comments. But you know how they say, God knows how to give you a taste of your own medicine? It was in 2002 when Keane had to undergo a pretty serious hip operation. It was a big deal, and people were genuinely worried that it might be the end of his playing days. Imagine a football player known for his aggressive style and physicality, facing the possibility of never stepping onto the pitch again. It was a scary time for him and for fans of the game. During his recovery, Keane had a lot of time to reflect on his playing style. He was known for being tough and uncompromising, often pushing the limits of fair play, but as he lay there contemplating his future, he decided it was time for a change. He realized that maybe he needed to dial back the aggression a bit and be more restrained on the field. Some people thought this made him less effective, but Keane proved them wrong by leading United to another league title in May 2003. And let's not forget his legendary rivalry with Arsenal's Patrick Vieira. It reached a boiling point in 2005 when Keane had a fiery confrontation with Vieira in the tunnel before a match. But despite all the drama, Keane's intense leadership helped United win 9 major trophies, making him the most successful captain in the club's history. Not much later, Keane's childhood dream came true when he joined Celtic in December 2005. He came in strong, but injuries forced him to retire the next year. Even Sir Alex Ferguson, his former manager, had to give him props for his impact on the game. But his time with the Irish national team was a whole different story. He was always butting heads with management, but he still played a key role in the 1994 World Cup. Even though Ireland did well, Keane always felt they could have gone further. He was a big part of their qualification for the 2002 World Cup, but his career was always filled with drama, both on and off the field. In the end, Keane's legacy is one of pure passion, intense leadership, and a whole lot of controversy. He's definitely one of the most talked about figures in football history. Speaking of being talked about, Roy Keane had a bit of a struggle with alcohol. It was pretty bad for a while, especially during his prime with Manchester United. He'd often go out drinking and partying hard, even before big games. It got to a point where it was affecting his health and performance. Eventually, Keane decided to quit drinking altogether. It wasn't easy, but he did it. He's been sober for years now and has even talked openly about his past struggles. He's become an advocate for others battling addiction, showing that even someone with a strong personality and a lot of success can overcome it. Despite these controversies, Keane's talent and leadership were undeniable. He captained Manchester United to great success, becoming their most decorated skipper. He also played a crucial role in the Irish national team, although his time there was marked by clashes with management. Keane's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He is remembered for his passion, intensity, and uncompromising attitude on the field. He was a born leader who demanded the best from himself and his teammates, but he is also remembered for his controversies, both on and off the pitch. In the end, Keane's story is one of overcoming challenges and achieving greatness. He battled alcoholism, faced disciplinary action, and often found himself in the midst of controversy. But through it all, he remained a dominant force in football, leaving behind a legacy that will be debated and discussed for years to come. So what do you think? Is Roy Keane's legacy ultimately one of triumph or turmoil? Let us know in the comments below.